You come check it out. Real happy with this right now. See this right here? What is this? Take a nice look. Take a nice look. Come around, travel around. Well, I know you're never going to guess what it is anyway, you know what I mean? But this is a Johnson-Su Bioreactor. What did I say? It's a Johnson-Su Bioreactor. Basically, it's just a fancy way of saying it's a very superior composting system. Okay, so looking at this structure, right? Why is it this size? What's going on? Did you see the inside as well? Check the inside, come close enough. Let's go right down in there. You see it's on a pallet, and that pallet has more ear holes, right? But look, if you come down here as well, you see that it's raised up off the ground. There's extra air that goes in there, right? Yeah. It's a bit much, huh? But why all this? Okay, the whole thing with composting. What's composting? Think about, it's that decomposing, you know, which that is the cycle of life, you know, that ending stage, decomposing. But using things that are decomposed in your garden to grow your own food and stuff like that is the most nutritious stuff that you could do. You know, the same stuff that people just throw away with, you know, soil, that does make up soil and different things that we grow in, right? So what's the idea about this? All this right here is just about getting more airflow, because when you just leave something alone altogether, say you have a pile of compost, whatever type of scraps it is, all the way like more towards the center of it, things start to go anaerobic. What that just basically means, like the whole decomposing process probably slows down so much that it basically stops. We know it doesn't stop altogether, but it just slows down that much. But I don't want something to move that slow. I want to be able to use the kitchen scraps, the fertilizer, the compost, different things that I'm using here. I want to be able to compost it all the way down to something fine enough that I could actually use back into my bed again, you know, back into a bed. You know what I'm saying? So what do we have? Just finished building this probably about 2-3 days ago. It took probably about a week altogether. This is with scraps that we already had here, existing stuff. The only thing that we went out and bought was this weed membrane right here, weed suppressant fabric. We basically use just like a chicken wire and some other metals around just to make the structure. So some of the, what is it? Some of the measurements that you should know. So Johnson-Su is the name of a couple that, I don't know what they do. They've done a lot of research and shit, and they found out, they're studying like composting and things breaking down or whatnot, and they started to design these particular things. So this is a later design, you know, more modified, and I did my own stuff, and based on other things that I saw in different videos that I liked, I added that on. But so when you have a large amount of stuff like this vertical structure here is going to hold a lot of stuff. For instance, let me just take some time and go over here. Let's come over to this pile of wood chips, mulch that we have. This used to be a massive pile. It's real small because we've been using it, clearly you can see on the land, but it was a big pile. But even if I go in all the way towards the center of this pile, I guarantee you it's going to be hot. Let's see. Okay, this is already warm, really warm here. Yep, feel that. Well, you can't feel that, but you can put your hand in. It's warmer all the way in. So dip.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe you saw a little steam coming out of that. But before, it used to be, when it was a bigger thing, it was really hot. So when you have stuff just compost like that, on whichever level, then what's going to happen is it's going to start breaking down more. The hotter that it is, the more it does break down. So that was an experiment that we left on that one right there. Cool. So using that same type of principle over here onto this one, we don't have a whole heap of stuff that we're going to be doing. Like I've seen a lot of other videos where people just already had the stuff filled. They built it, and they just filled it straight away. But that's great if you have that. We don't have all that type of material available, so we do it little by little. What am I going to fill this with? I'm going to fill this with a combination. So don't think that it has to be this specific. You do what you have, what's available to you, right? But what we do have, we got some organic matter, plant matter. These are clippings from stuff that we grew here. That you know when you see something and whatever, like it's already dying, you pull off that, or you're pruning some of the veg that you're growing. Boom. So you got all that. That's a mixture of whatever, kale, beans, different things, cabbage, whatnot. So that's green, right? So anything that's green is going to represent nitrogen, which plants need heavily. Then we got some cardboard here that we cut up real good. So anything that's brown represents carbon, which is very essential. What I have here, this is from our old composting system, which I'm not going to talk about that now, but you see how it looks. It just looks like regular soil. That was kitchen scraps and everything that's been composted down over the last, I'll say, 9 months to a year, easily. We have loads of that over there. And this is the regular kitchen waste. This is biodegradable. You just throw that in. It's regular kitchen waste. And there's no meat or anything like that in there. It's just plants and stuff like that, So the whole idea is you definitely don't want too much green matter because everything, it still has water in there and stuff like that. Everything was turned just more into slush and be slimy and stuff like that, and that will stop the process as well. But then you don't want an overabundance of cardboard material as well, because then everything will supposedly go anaerobic. I'm not a scientist. I don't fucking know, but that's what they say. But based on my experience over the last year, the combination of all these things give you this. So that is the end process. So the idea of, you're looking at this, you're like, oh, wow, shoot, that's great. That's nutritious. I see that. It looks like soil. I can't even tell that was just kitchen scraps and fertilizer and other things. It looks great. Perfect. That's how it's supposed to look. So, but we didn't make enough of this to really use in our whole garden the way we want to, because now we got 2 plots, So doing something else, something bigger, something that is superior, something that is better, something that can accelerate that process is what we're looking for. So at the same time, like trying new stuff, you know what I mean? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Hey, you know what I mean? But yeah, we like failing forward over here. We're not scared to fail, you know what I mean? So there's always those clues of success left in things like that, right? So yeah. So now, on to the design. So most importantly, you just have to know that on the Johnson-Su research, this airflow, before it used to be a whole bunch of more air pipes in here, but just having one center column like this, and then ensuring that the outer circle and the inner circle can't be more than 2 feet distance, right? Because what happens is, based on their research, they found that airflow could only travel like a foot distance. So if you think about a foot from the inner circle to the midsection, that's probably about a foot. But then when we get out here, we'll have a foot from the outer surface, air going in here, to reach in this way, that's another foot. So basically, between the outer flow and the inner air canal, it's covered. The airflow is gonna go right through. If I built this where this was, say, 4 feet in between. Then I will have a space towards the center that goes anaerobic, because that air can only travel a foot that way, right? And the air is only going to travel a foot this way. So that will leave a centerpiece that would supposedly go anaerobic. Based on the research, I don't know. It sounds all good, but at the end of the day, we just trying some shit, yo. We just trying some shit and just seeing if it works. You know, hey, that's what it's about. So, without further ado, we're about to take this stuff and throw that stuff in here. All right. So let me finish telling you. Did we get fertilizer? We're gonna try. We should have had some fertilizer. I think we're gonna throw some shit in there as well. Real shit. Oh yeah, the shit's over here. Follow me. That was supposed to be over here. So yeah, I like to throw some of this in as well. You know, every time. So this is some, not as aged as that, obviously, but probably about 4 months, something like that. And what I was going to say about the fertilizer and that aged compost over there is they have a lot of worms in it. Worms are very essential for the whole breakdown of things. This one is very different. Since this one is elevated off the floor, I want to make sure that I get some worms in there. So how am I going to get worms in there? Either by the compost or the fertilizer, or I'm going to buy some worms and throw in for this particular experiment. But I'll let y'all know how it goes. This is supposed to be 3 to 4 times faster with the volume and all the airflow. The only thing I have to make sure to do is at least once a week, make sure I drench this with water. Drench this with water so the water's leaking out. And then, yeah. Gonna give me a hand? Gonna give me a hand? Come on. All right, so you got front row seats to this. I want you to be right here with me so you feel like you're doing this with me. Right, what are you gonna start with? Let's start with this, some of the green matter, all right? All this. So let's bring this closer. I want you to be right here with me. So you see, we got nothing in there now. It's probably still gonna look like there's nothing in there after because the thing's so big. But yeah, just take it in there and just dump it in. The whole bottom is anchored down to the pallet, you know. So there's no way that this is tipping over. And there is I did cut a hole at the bottom of this center ear canal. Hold it in place. Just let that flow go in. So I'm just scattering it around, but I'm not worried about it being too even. Just make sure I go around the whole circle. Depends. Sometimes I'll just do one of that, there's some compost, then one hand of fertilizer, then one hand of kitchen scraps, you know, but I don't feel like doing that shit right now. I just want to get it done. Okay, cool. That one's gone. And what next? So I did throw in some green. So I wanted to go ahead and mix in some brown with that. So something more dry, cardboard, right? And I'm aware that there is, on the overall thing, there is a more green right now. So next time I add stuff in, I want to make sure I have a little bit more brown, you know what I mean? Just to balance it out. So yeah, just watch it go in. Come down with me. It looks actually cool. This is nice. Actually feels nice just throwing stuff in here. You know how long I waited for this? Like, just watching tons of videos and people building it, like, and then like being frustrated building the damn thing. Like, yo, when they tell you, oh yeah, it's gonna just take 4 hours, 5 hours, yeah, bullshit. Like, yeah, it took a week. It's no joke. And once again, let me just say that I'm not sitting down on tons of tools. We just have basic tools over here. Basic. So that's what it is. It's not daddy's woodshop class over here, you know what I'm saying? So that's a good amount. I like that. You see the bottom all covered? You see everything all covered even? Make sure you see what they're seeing. So Let me help you right there. Yeah. So yeah, and why the fabric? It's still breathable. It's still breathable, but it allows some moisture to remain in there. We ended up having to probably, I think, triple the fabric because the first layer, just one layer, it was too see-through. It didn't do enough. So we put 3. So boom, that's the browns. I'm gonna go to the kitchen scraps, the greens, break that open. I want to have everything open. Everything open. And this is a biodegradable material, so just throw it in. Don't worry about that as well. What's going to be deep is we out here at the allotment, all right? So these foxes and all these other little animals are going to be smelling this shit. So I don't know if our shit's going to get raided by the night and they're going to fucking have a swarm of foxes just try to karate chop this shit down or something. I don't know. But we'll see how it goes. I think we built it sturdy enough. And if they do, then that just means I'm gonna have to build it sturdier and better. So it's all right. It's all right. You know, it's just practice. It's always practice. All right, back to this one right here. So I had leftover, I'm putting that one in. This looks glorious in here. I can imagine just when it gets real filled, just how compressed, how much weight is going to be in here. It must be able to generate some heat. I don't know, it's confusing. I don't know, it's confusing. You want heat, but you want airflow, but you want moisture. I don't know. Just whatever the case. It might be confusing, just it is what it is. You just gotta find your way. This is the end result. Most important, whether I'm saying contradicting stuff or not, that was the end result. So give thanks for that. All right. So now that's what I'm gonna save that for last. I'm gonna add the shit. The shit.
Also known as manure.
Oh yeah, also known as manure. But you know what? There was this movie, Tales from the Hood. Those in the States probably understand. But you remember Tales in the Hood? Remember when the dude, the funeral dude, crazy dude was like,
let's just get the shit first. Now where's that? Shit. Yeah. Follow me. Oh yes. Now we gonna get the shit. Woo! We gonna get the shit now. Yeah.
More ring around the rosies, huh?
Oh yeah, the doo-doo.
Sick of fucking his ass.
The poopy-de-pop. We gonna get the shit.
yeah, go look that up. That was a dope little hood classic. But yeah, I understand if you want to use gloves and all that, but you know, it feels pretty nice. Like, when else are you going to be able to feel stuff like this? I like the feelings of things, you know, and it's all right. Nah. I'm just playing with you. You never be this close to a horse's ass. All right. All right. Yes, sprinkle the shit in there. Not too much. But this thing is really soft though. So you see, like, yeah, that's what the horses eat, like tons of hay and stuff. So that's what you're seeing mixed up in there. I guess for all the hay they eat, their digestive system sucks. Fucking no. Doesn't look like they digest any of the shit. If I had a horse, I'll probably feed it right back to the horse. Maybe, let me not say that. Sorry. No animal cruelty. But, yeah, it looks pretty good. Almost there. I'm gonna get a few more handfuls, and yeah, that's cool. So just imagine how much nutrition is in here, right? There's loads. Well, I think I need a little extra because this side looks a little bit bare. Just this side, I want to kind of get it somewhat even. Yep. Okay, I'm cool with that. And then last we have the aged proper compost, the last stage. And that does have worms in there. You see? You really look at it and see how it breaks down. It's broken all down. They're just trying to bury to the bottom. But they're in there. They're in there. See, yeah, no more here. That's cool. Daddy's home. Your daddy's home to stay.
Yeah, same time, same channel.